What's your 2-unit pick?
All right, now let's talk about the Patriots.
Okay.
I'm taking them this week.
That's a big number.
This is a very big number, and that's really the only reason why here.
I'm interested to hear the case here.
No, and you know what? Honestly, a good chunk of it probably is narrative driven. Like you're never. Buffalo's stock has never been higher, and New England's stock has never been lower. And it's a divisional game, and I do think, like, I was looking at this game in the context of like last week's Baltimore Giants game, where I think that closed at 16.5 or 17. I think it might have opened at like 12.5. It was bet up a pretty fair amount, but like that was a game where, the Giants. You look and the ceiling is so low when you have Tim Boyle and Tommy DeVito as your quarterback, and you see that game turning into a shootout with the Ravens. You're like, there's a chance that this just gets out of hand early, and maybe that happens this week too. But I do think having Drake May allows the offense on the New England side to do something, and we have seen something from them at times. Like
14.5 for the guy who's that good in garbage time. That screams backdoor.
And maybe Buffalo lets off the throttle a little bit after last week's win over the Lions. But, like, I don't know. Like, I see a spread that high, and I'm like, well, you better be dealing with, like, a backup quarterback or just, an absolutely putrid offense. And I just think that there's enough there to work with that New England might be able to keep this within the number. That being said, it's not good, and it gets worse every week. Every week that we sit here, I think Gerard Mayo we're there. He's not gonna make it.
You think he's done?
I think he's done. I think we're nearing the point where this past week was just the lowest of the lows.
Is he the worst remaining head coach in the NFL right now? Taking out interims.
Probably, yeah. Who's he better than?
It's like
when you look at it that way. I can't say he's definitively. I can't say he's better than anybody because I have not seen one positive thing from him.
Who else do you think stinks? Like Doug Peterson?
Sure.
At least Doug Peterson's got a track record. But
Pierce even had his team played for him last year.
So the one thing though that I do wonder with Mayo is does he get a second season just because? You have to show at least some room for improvement. You know what I mean? Could he get better?
I err on the side of giving a guy a second season because it's
when you first started driving, you probably sucked.
Sure.
And now you're.
But I think we're now getting to the point with some of the stuff that he's done himself no favors.
I'm only playing devil's advocate, by the way.
If they were just bad, that would be one thing. But the constant
they're a laughing stock.
The comments, the backtracking, now we're getting to a point where it's who the hell would want to play for this guy? If you're an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator, you want to join this?
And that's on top of reports out there saying they're not concerned about football. They're not, going through the interview process. And it's all starting. If you really want to squint hard enough, you can start to kind of make the math work. It just doesn't feel. It feels somewhat disjointed, somewhat directionless. Did they take for granted Belichick took care of a lot of that stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now that he leaves, it's there's a million other things that he did that we didn't realize he just naturally did, and those are falling through the cracks, and that exposes bigger picture issues. And it's now we need to find a CEO head coach, and this guy clearly isn't it. And it goes back to a lot of stuff we talked about all year, where it's what on his resume made you think he was going to be good? Also, the reports that came out last year said, him and Belichick basically were tuning each other out. It was if he's the guy in waiting, he should be
absorbing as much information as possible so that when he takes over, he hits the ground running.
Right. So it's you should have known then that this was maybe an issue. And it's just, the complete lack of accountability. The one thing that you could do coming out of the bye, right, is have your team ready to play with a good game plan, ready to play hard, and just at the very least, if you get run out of the building the rest of the way, put the blame on you and no one else.
Yeah.
And he has come out and blamed his offensive coordinator and his players already since a wet fart of a game Sunday in Arizona.
And that's
just
the thing.
unreal.
And
just take the blame and get through the season.
And this team has so many issues from coaching to player personnel to front office.
Sure.
Like, they're going to need to fix a lot of these deficiencies. And now, like, as an outsider, you're just like, why do I want to be involved in that? Like, if you're a free agent, like, the suck tax or whatever, like that's real when it comes to this team, and it's getting higher and higher because
what is the selling point?
If you're a free agent, you don't want to come here. If you're a coach, you don't want to come here. Like, it's getting, and it's bad. And I think the only way to really rectify that is you kind of make peace with the fact that you rush this guy into a role he just wasn't equipped to handle. It's always everybody else's job, everybody else's fault but himself.
I hate advocating for people to lose their jobs, but it's just like their best long-term play is probably to say, whoops, we screwed up.
Yeah.
We're going to make it right. And the first way we're going to make it right is we're turning over the entire football operation to insert adult football coach here and stay out of the way. And at least you got to get back to sea level, man. Like,
yep.
Never mind getting to the mountains. Like,
it just feels like a guy who always probably thought he was the smartest guy in the room when Belichick was still here and convinced the right people. And then you get there and it's like, whoa, wait, I have to do what? Wait, I have to fill out this report? You know, like, there's just like those little things that you don't know because you just
100%.
You don't have the visibility into that, the countless workflows that Bill Belichick was involved in, and then you get in it and you're just like, okay, maybe I'm not as ready as I thought I was.
It's extremely important context, too, for dummies like us who are like, how hard it could be to coach an NFL team or whatever. It's like, actually, it gives you a better, understanding of what the 31 other guys are doing when it's like, this guy can't even, he walks something back every Monday morning. It's unbelievable.
Every week.
So, it's tough. So, anyway, my 2-unit pick, I still have to make a pick here.
Oh, that's right.
I'm taking Chicago.
All that I am taking the Patriots. Though.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. It's a lot of points.